Angie,
John,
are you using
am I using what?
AI,
What on earth are you talking about?
artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, that kind of thing?
Oh, John, it's called AI, not IE.
Well, I bow to your greater wisdom.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, maybe we should talk about this and what AI tools we're using and how we're using them.
Yep, sounds good to me. I'll get there, Angie. I'll get there.
Oh my gosh. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Coaching Clinic with John and Angie.
The show for professional coaches who want to develop their skills and grow their business.
Follow the show on your favorite podcast app.
And join us every Wednesday for new episodes. Oh my gosh. I have to ask, did you hear somebody actually say it like that, or are we just being funny today?
I'm pretty sure that's how my mum says it.
Yeah, she's real. Oh, she's not listening, is she?
My mum doesn't listen to our show. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's okay. We don't want her to now because I
She's
actually
used to,
used to
she's
work.
used to me embarrassing her though. That's all good.
Oh, so what? When you're doing your stand-up routine, she sits in the audience and you're making all the mom jokes.
Do you know what? I've told her that there is a whole stand-up routine there just waiting to be written. I haven't got around to it yet, so we'll see.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Be prepared. Be prepared because mother jokes are not funny to the mothers. Just saying.
I'm
Anyway.
always my fun mum. I love her to bits. But AI tools, Angie, AI
Yeah.
tools. We had a really interesting chat with Dr. Lisa last time on the show. It was enlightening. There was stuff that I hadn't realized about what
Yeah.
was possible with AI. And we both decided it would be good for us to talk about what we are already using and doing with
Yeah.
AI in our coaching businesses. What's maybe one of the most prominent uses for AI that you are already onto?
So obviously it's morphed a little bit. It's evolving because I don't know what I'm doing yet, right? I'm learning. But I think the first experience that I had using AI for anything was it like using ChatGPT and now Gemini. But after Dr. Lisa being on last week, like clearly I'm not even using it in that space to its fullest potential. I'm sure that I have not a clue as to what I can use. But that was pretty much where it began for me. And it's turned into more because, I mean, there's ads everywhere on what AI could do for you in your business. But again, I feel like my knowledge base can't even keep up with how many more tools become available, like, feel like on the daily.
Yeah, the advances are super fast, and we can talk about stuff and it will be outdated by, well, next month, if not sooner,
Sure.
or superseded. There'll be new things. Undoubtedly, the technology race is so fast. Many different companies are trying to win the race, and
Yeah.
lots of interesting competition going on. Is it all good? Maybe not, but a lot of it
Yeah.
is, and certainly it's not something I think we can sit on the sidelines of. We probably do need to be involved. But I was a little resistant to AI tools at first when AI was first really on the scene and available to us, and it was ChatGPT. I didn't really want to use it. It felt like cheating. So
Yeah.
I'm not a luddite by any stretch of the imagination. I embrace technology, but that all felt like cheating, and there's still aspects of it that perhaps do.
Mm.
But I don't think it can be avoided now. But I would say the first AI tool I probably used was in editing audio and video content for podcasts and for
That's a big
online
first
content
step,
and
though. You're
media.
like, oh, I started using it I'm like, really? I was down in the simple place of like, tell me how to say this in ChatGPT. So you're even light years ahead of that. But within, I guess, your business structure, right? You're like, this is the space that I'm using it.
Yeah. And I think I still, at the moment at least, have very much a mentality of AI as a helper rather than it's
Well,
not a doer. It's not, I don't want it to be a done for you thing with AI because I don't think it's really there in most cases, but it's a great helper. Good idea generator.
yes,
So sometimes it's a good brainstorming partner for cut with ideas and
absolutely.
options. And so I think those are really great things to use it for. But as I say, initially I was just using it to speed up the process of creating online content, which it does a reasonable job at, but you still need to have the human check-ins on it because it's
Oh, yeah.
far from perfect. But yeah, those are my first things. But probably after that, I would say it was note takers, AI note takers in meetings, particularly. And this is something that I use with clients, with coaching clients,
Yeah.
to it gives a pretty full summary of a coaching call, as well as identifying the action steps and all of that. It's like nobody needs to be taking notes if you've got an AI note taker recording the call and giving you an overview at the end of it.
Well, listen, and it's a great way. I mean, I started doing that as well. I mean, I was a little hesitant, but I was like, well, it's on. Let me see how my notes, right? Let's do the verify. How do my notes compare to its notes? And I'm like, better organized because I love, it depends on whether how I'm doing it. It could be type A. Sometimes I'm even writing them really quick because there's just certain things that I want to make sure I'm highlighting and whatever. So it's just faster for me to just sit there and take the note. But it's like you said, using it, especially when like Zoom, so I'm looking at the notes going, awesome job, bravo, a round of applause, because they're organized, they're concise, and they work. So that's one space. And you've seen, right? I've shared with you like some of the videos that I've created. I see ads all over every platform, every social platform. And there's like, hey, here's AI for your business. And I'm so curious. I've probably tried 5 or 6 different platforms at this point to see, right? I'm just curious. Like, I don't have to use it. What is it? And you've seen some of my videos. So I loved it. I was like, this is fabulous. I put in my idea, my theme, my content a little bit, and it created this like video on my theme with music and all these things. The only thing, and you know this, the only thing that I'm not yet 100% I didn't buy into yet is that a lot of it, even if it's my voice, right? Because I've recorded my voice to let AI speak for me. I don't love yet that it still sounds like me, but a little bit robotic. Like I'm not ready to sound like that. However, what Dr. Lisa said, you know what? Because AI is up and coming so rapidly, people aren't necessarily turned away or turned off by that. So maybe I have to revisit a couple of those platforms to make my videos much
Yeah,
easier
well, it was
to do.
yeah, I think one of the points she made was about that where people knew it was AI
Yeah.
created or generated, they had
Sure.
resistance to it, but where they didn't, they actually liked it more,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see those stats continuing on. I certainly do not like those YouTube videos where it's a very robotic voice with horrible intonation, but
Yeah.
I see these tools getting a lot better. One of my shows recently where I'd lost my voice, couldn't do the intro and outro for it. I used an AI avatar tool on Descript, which they now have video for. They have
Mm,
these characters that look AI, but they look human as well. And the
sure.
mouth movements, the facial expressions, the tonality, maybe not perfect, but it's still bloody good. It's like,
Well, listen, but
I was
imagine where,
impressed.
wow. Imagine where that will be, let's just say a year from now. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
if you and I are talking about this and revisiting this in a year, let's say we even wait that long, I feel like the tonality, all of that is going to, because coming up with the theme and the content is not for me what I see as the challenge of AI in our space, right? I
Right.
understand that there's a lot of other businesses and organizations and in industries, I'm really looking for that word, where they're
Yeah.
using AI and it's like, this is really great. But in our industry specifically, I think we have to be a little bit careful because this is still a human based industry. Interestingly, I just signed a contract recently with a corporate company and there was a provision, no AI from my like they use AI all day long, but no AI was one of the and I get it because I guess there's a multitude of reasons, but I just feel like that it's just taking over and you want to make sure, I guess, or they want to make sure that what they're paying for is Angie live, not necessarily Angie AI.
Yeah,
Angie
that
2.0.
makes sense. It makes sense to me. They're paying for the human connection element more than anything
Correct.
else, so they get that.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say to you, like 1000% that administratively, even though I have like an assistant now and it's good and love you, by the way, but but I think AI is going to just lighten that administrative load of it and
Yeah.
help us to present. Sometimes I'm going to say, like, the ideas that I had for video, when I plugged it all in and let it all happen, I was like, ooh, this is great. Angie, not AI, I would maybe not have come up with something so clever yet still in alignment because I don't have the brain of a computer. So
Yeah.
it can be great.
It can be great. I'm very aware, and I think I mentioned this in our chat with Dr. Lisa last week, but I'm very aware that AI does scrape other people's content and information. You can even instruct it to do stuff
Oh,
in the style of someone else, and it will do it to the best of its ability.
that's so
Um,
crazy.
it is kind of crazy. But this is really why a lot of people now are talking about expertise factor is not as important as it used to be. Your connection and relationship ability, your performance ability,
Yes.
how you show up human to human is far more important
Yeah.
than your level of expertise, because most stuff
Yeah.
can be got from AI. We do still need to be very careful of something that is a growing problem and concern that people are maybe not as aware of as they should be. People in the industry certainly are, of
Mhm.
AI hallucinations. Like if you are getting data and facts and things like that off AI, you need
Oh,
to verify them, because
oh,
AI will create statistics and facts and information that seems really real, but if you look into it a little more deeply, isn't. There was even a legal case last
oh.
year where it turned out that legals cases that were being cited as precedent weren't actually real. They had been worked, that this had been done by AI, and it was an AI hallucination, which of course meant
Well,
that got thrown out.
bizarre to me. The whole like concept of because I'm sitting here going, really? What the heck is an AI hallucination? What is that? So,
Yeah.
okay.
Is where
So being a
is generating answers that seem to fit what you're asking it to do, but not
oh,
necessarily bringing you the most factual or accurate. Now, I think you can probably maybe counter for some of that by trying to make sure that they instruct it and prompt it to only use verified facts and show where they
yeah,
come from.
yeah,
That might be one way to help you to do that, but it is something to be aware of. Don't just trust whatever facts as such that AI throws at you,
absolutely.
whichever tool you're using.
I think we talked about this but a little bit last time when we spoke with Dr. Lisa, and that is the prompting. The prompting, I think, is really the key. So let's go back to Google for a minute, right? Doing a Google, or I mean, Google is my search. If I'm looking for something, I'm not even asking Siri. I'm like, hey, Google, blah, blah, blah. But it's funny
Are you
because
using
I could,
Gemini? Do you mean Google Gemini? Just to clarify.
no, just Google. If I'm just doing a
Just Google
search.
search. Okay.
So I'm doing
Okay.
a basic, I'm going to do a little comparison. So I could be sitting at the table and this happens. I'm with my crazy family. Love you. And we could be like talking about something or someone. And it's like, oh, well, I don't know when that happened. And we'll all pick up our phones and say, hey, when did this happen? And there's like this variation of answers from around the table, so to speak. And interestingly, I did get to that point where I was just being very explicit and getting better answers, right? I learned how to actually use Google instead of like relying 100% on it to be smarter than me, right? I was getting more effective answers, more specific, all of that. And I think that the prompts are to that point. I know it's a little belabored, but that's really the key, I think, to using AI more
Certainly,
effectively is
yeah, certainly
learning.
at the moment.
Correct. And listen, everything, disclaimer, everything that John and I say today will be different by tomorrow. So,
Yeah. And as you say, a year from now, the whole stuff with
yeah,
prompts may have changed. And again, this is, as you
yeah,
say, this is something Dr. Lisa was talking about last time. But super important to do that. Right now, we do need to be doing better prompts. The more information we can give, the better.
yeah.
Even things as simple as, I will often use in prompts now. Um, Ask me questions that you need to get more clarity for a good answer on this, so that it will feed back to you. All right, let's get this information from you as well, and then I'll be able to give you an even more detailed answer. Great. It's things like that. It's worth spending a little time, right? Certainly currently, on learning how to do prompting well. You don't need to be, unless it's something you want to be doing professionally, you probably don't need to be spending huge amounts of time on it. But get a few insights into how to do some good prompts that will give you better, more useful, valuable answers, and get more specific. Learn a little bit about how to train your AI tool, the whichever
That's
one you are,
exactly it. Yes.
whichever one you're feeling more comfortable with, because it's going to learn your voice. You can have it
Yes.
helping you to create your content more effectively. The more it learns how you do things and your style of doing things. That email marketing program that I'm in, they have recently just given us a whole load of tools to help us to program our own AI or GPT
Yeah.
to speak with our voice, to
Yeah.
make sure we're putting in the qualities that we have, and they don't, again, never going to be, well, not certainly at the moment, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty good. And most
Hmm.
people will not be able to tell the difference. So I do think these things are really valuable. Most of the courses and programs that I have access to at the moment include at least one or more GPTs or AI tools that are within the course itself that are designed for you to use with their program to get a
Hmm.
specific result or to move
Right.
something along. If we're not doing those sorts of things as well, then we could be missing out. So learning how to create a GPT or something similar is going to be also very useful for you as a coach right now. Something that I'm only just starting to look at. I don't know if you've thought about this at all, Angie.
So I listen. So I was going to say to what you said in the beginning of that is you really have to treat it as though it's an assistant. And if you hired an assistant in your position, in your job, right, in your business, you're not going to just say, "Hey, just go do all the things I need to be done." You're
You
going
need
to
to
give them
onboard
some
them.
very
Yeah.
specific prompts to what you do, how you do it, how you prefer it, so they can take the ball and run with it. And you should not treat this any differently. The results will probably be better, stronger, faster than if you had a live person, right, doing the things. But you should be as specific as that and look at it as a supplement to your business, as the assistant to what you're doing. And keep an eye. Always verify. You wouldn't give your business to a live, or maybe you would, to a live person that, hey, just take everything. You have access to all things. Go have fun with that. You wouldn't, in good conscience, I would hope, do that. And you shouldn't do that with a GPT either. I am excited to continue utilizing it in the space. And honestly, and this is really transparent. I'm learning like everybody because I'm very technology averse. Don't give me that look. I don't close your eyes like that. But but this is something that I feel can help me actually be better at all of those things. And I have to have fun with it, like you said, and make sure that it's doing what I need it to do. Because right now I'm also sure that all the vision of how I see it working within my world, my professional world, is probably just like I'm not even scratching the surface yet of what it could actually do. I had a conversation recently with a friend actually who has been applying for jobs, not even getting like one response. And then if you look, oh, this has gone to like this 2,000 applications and resumes have been sent. You know damn well they're using some type of AI to get through those 2,000. You know that. There's no possibility that a person or a team of people is sitting there scrutinizing, going over 2,000. So it's
Yeah.
everywhere. It is everywhere. And we need to definitely rise up to it, or else we are going
100%.
to be left in the sand.
100%. But here's one of the things, like, when I was doing a little work on a program that I'm in for the day, and the coach is saying um, that it's always a good idea to work on your niche a little more and make sure it's tightened up, that it's the right niche and stuff like that. And was even recommended to use AI tools to help you figure that out. So I went and
Eh,
had a play. I have paid ChatGPT at the moment, and I'm actually preferring it to Gemini. So I might stick with it. But I had a play on there and worked on, like, here's what I'm doing, here's who I'm working with, help me tighten up my niche and my
mhm.
help know who I help statement, and let's see if it's good. And it was actually an improvement. And it also even led me to being able to create some new content based upon the stuff it was coming up with. Again,
Yep.
stuff that I'm going to add to and change around a bit. It's not come out 100% perfect, but it's come out with like, all right, that's great. That's something I can
It
build on. It's
does.
foundational. It's helpful. Let's take it from there. Kind of blown away at how well it does those things. Okay, it'd be throwing stuff at me that
Sure.
has been other people's stuff, but here's how we have to think about it. Everything we know, we have learned from other people. Everything we know, we've learned from other people. So this is a democratization of knowledge to the point where we all are pretty much going to have access to each other's expertise. Maybe it's going to make our brains a bit lazier. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Maybe in, I don't know, 5 or 10 years, we'll be integrating our brains with AI. Gosh, who knows? Who knows what the
Hey, up
future
now.
holds?
No, I'm kidding. Ah, don't say that. I'm having like Doctor Who like flashbacks right now.
But these things are there is a degree to which it's all about building another brain to do work for you, to take some
Yeah.
of the load off of your brain
Yeah.
and to do stuff that we just don't have the cognitive load or availability or energy to be able to do as much as AI can help us to do. And so this is really what it's about. Even our phone can be, our mobile phones can be considered as an additional brain. They store our contacts, they store all
Sure.
sorts of information because we just can't consciously keep it all in our brains. So we have tasked some of our mental capacity or mental load onto machines, onto technology. And we're
Right.
probably going to continue down that path. That is not necessarily in itself a bad thing, but there are things we probably need to be aware of that we don't really have the scope to get into today. But whilst this is all going on, we should be taking advantage of what's available to us and worry less about the future and worry more about making our businesses work right now and making these tools work for us, right now. Because if you're creating talks or books or anything like that, this can really help you to outline stuff, to generate some ideas, make sure you haven't missed any
Sure.
key bits of information. These are important things for us to be able to do because all of us are flawed. We're not perfect beings. It's easy to miss stuff or to misinterpret stuff or get stuff wrong. Or
Right.
and this can, as you say, be an assistant, a helper to keep us
It's
on the
a
right
great
track.
way to fill in the blanks and elevate us, right? It's a great way to supplement. And that's why I keep feeling like for me, it's filling in those blanks and maybe taking things to the next level and helping me to grow as a professional. But at the end of the day, it's not going to coach for me. It's not going to speak for me, so to speak. I am still going to be that ever present human that is
Yeah.
in front of the scene.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, look, there's as I said, we're talking about tools that we use, and one of the tools that I use, and I actually have done for a while, is writing tools. I use Grammarly to help me
yeah,
correct myself, and even then,
yeah,
Grammarly doesn't always get it right, and Grammarly doesn't always speak with my voice, but it does show me good grammar at least, and things that I might want to change or obvious mistakes that I can easily fix, which is what I want it to do. But there are other AI writing tools now which are worth playing with as well that can just speed up things of like email responses, automations that, especially if you are sending a lot of the same messages or if you're doing sales by chat or anything like that, there are AI and automation tools that are really able to speed up those processes for you and save you a lot of typing, reduce your carpal tunnel syndrome effects
right.
and do it for you.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot today. I think this is something that we're going to continue to revisit. And we
Yeah.
should because we're going to incorporate things into our businesses and maybe we'll get a little more specific the next time we talk about it.
Yeah, let's hope so. Well, we'll return to it soon, but I think we've had a good episode on this today. So I
Yeah.
hope it's been some value for you too.
Do you have a question for the coaching clinic?
Reach out on LinkedIn to connect with Angie and John.
Leave us a voicemail or video message and we will feature you on the show.
You can also leave up to 90-second voicemail for free on www.speakpipe.com/the Coaching Clinic podcast.
We'd love to hear from you.
See you next time.
Bye for now.